Good evening and welcome to Big Future LinkedIn Career Week. My name is Aliciana Harvey Lopez, and I am so excited to welcome you to the final night of Career Week. Stand out on LinkedIn, building a great student profile. Thank you so much for joining us. Many of you are finishing up school for the year and gearing up for summer, so you could be anywhere today, but we're glad you decided to spend this time with us. This week is for you to get inspired, find your passion, and access resources to start your path towards your dream career. Big Future LinkedIn Career Week is a special week of live, free events where high school students and adults who care about them can answer their questions about careers and taking the right step after high school. Many of you have been with us all week in your conversations about the most in-demand jobs and all about networking. Well, on our last night, we have experts here to talk to you about crafting your LinkedIn profile. But first, a little bit more about me. I was born in the great state of New Jersey, but currently reside in sunny Sarasota, Florida. I'm a rising senior attending Pineview School for the Gifted, the #1 ranked school in Florida. And furthermore, I am a college sophomore through an advanced dual enrollment program, which means I will graduate high school with my associate's degree. I proudly serve as a Big Future ambassador, working to support and guide fellow students in their journey towards a successful future. I'm one of over 9,000 high school student leaders who help others to plan for life after high school. I became a Big Future ambassador because I wholeheartedly believe in the power of education and its transformative impact on students' lives. By sharing knowledge and providing guidance, I aim to inspire and empower fellow students to pursue their dreams and achieve remarkable success. Together, we can shape a brighter future through education. A lot of high schoolers think that having a LinkedIn profile is only for adults and college students. They would be wrong. Setting up your profile now can help you stand out. Today, we're joined by LinkedIn and Delati to answer your questions about how to make your profile great. So get your questions ready and welcome to Big Future LinkedIn Career Week.
So get your questions ready.
And welcome to the Big Future Live family.
Kai wants to know,
what are you looking for in a student when deciding to give a scholarship?
It really does depend on the college that you're looking at.
How did you find what you were truly passionate about?
My internships really helped to focus what I want to do.
You're constantly learning and growing. That's what college is all about.
Thank you, Aliciana, and thank you to all the students and caring adults joining us for our final Big Future LinkedIn Career Week event, Stand Out on LinkedIn, Building a Great Student Profile. Once again, my name is Greg Rafal. I use he, him pronouns, and I work here on the Big Future team. For those of you who don't know, Big Future is a team of former educators, parents, college and career planning pros, and really just a group of folks who want to help you prepare for life after high school. Now, as Aliciana said, our goal here at Big Future LinkedIn Career Week is to answer all of your questions about career exploration. Tonight, you're not going to sit through a bunch of PowerPoint slides. We don't have a super long presentation to go through with you. This is really a virtual community to help get your questions answered. Now, we only have 45 minutes tonight, and I can see that we have quite a few people who are joining us, which means we're gonna have a lot of questions to get through. So let's get to it and meet our guests for the night. Awesome. All right. So thank you, Naheen and Damon, for being with us today. I'm going to ask each of you to introduce yourselves, and I want you to tell us 4 things. What's your name? Where do you call home? What do you do? Where you work or where you go to school? And in one word, what do you think makes a great LinkedIn profile? Naheen, I'll start with you.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Naheen Khan. I currently go to CUNY Brooklyn College. I'm also an incoming Deloitte tax intern. Deloitte is the #1 global accounting firm worldwide. And just to start off, I'd say the one thing that I think makes a standout LinkedIn profile is definitely putting yourself out there through photos, certificates, constant updates, and letting the world know who you are.
That's great advice to get us started, Naheen.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Naheen. How's everyone doing? My name is Damon Wiley. First generation, low income, born and raised in the Bay Area. I went to undergrad at UC Berkeley where I studied English. I've been working for LinkedIn for a few years now as a talent solutions consultant. And I'll be carrying on my legacy in the next month or so by getting my MBA at UC Berkeley. If I was to speak about the one word that's the most dynamic thing to do with your LinkedIn, it's finding out the way to view your profile as a blueprint or other profiles as a blueprint rather than a networking platform. And I look forward to speaking a little bit more about that today.
Thanks so much, Damon. Thank you both for being here at Big Future LinkedIn Career Week. Looking forward to this conversation. Now, this week is all about getting your career exploration questions answered about building a great LinkedIn profile. But before we get to your questions, we have one question for our audience members out there today. We'd love to know what drove you to today's event. Were you looking to hear from an intern at Deloitte on their experience? Were you looking to really connect with Damon to learn more about his expertise at LinkedIn? Or were you interested in just advice on building your LinkedIn profile? Or lastly, do you have a LinkedIn profile already and want to make it even better? So go ahead, there's a quick poll that popped up on your screen. Let us know what drove you to today's event. While you're answering that quick poll, I just have a couple of housekeeping items for us today. First off, there's an Ask a Question box on the bottom of your screen right about here where you can type in your questions. Excuse me. Now, Big Future Live is all about getting your questions answered, so please do not be shy. And I'm seeing now we have a ton of folks who are in this virtual room with us, so we are going to try to go quickly and get to as many of your questions as possible. Now, if you miss anything during today's event, or you walk away from your computer or from your mobile device for a second, do not worry. The recording is going to be available later on demand at bigfuture.org/live. All right, so let's see why you all are joining us tonight. So what drove you to today's event? No surprise here, about 80% of you said, I was really interested in learning how to build my own LinkedIn profile. Well, you all are in the right place. So without further ado, let's get started here. And usually during Big Future Live events, we jump right into our questions. But because this event is more of a how-to, I would say, we're actually going to give you an overview of how to build your LinkedIn profile. And with that, I'm going to pass it over to Damon.
Amazing. So I have a limited amount of time to go through this, so I'm going to be quick with this, but be sure to ask a bunch of questions. Just before I preface where to start with LinkedIn's, the things that I often get in the comments that I usually hear from our students, especially in the high school and college space, is, Damon, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. So guess what? I'm just not going to do anything. And I always hear that from my students 24/7. Damon, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. I don't know what to ask or what to do. So then I'm just not going to do it. But what I find so interesting about us, and I know you guys can all relate, if we want to look up a video on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, we're going to do that. If we want to find information, we're going to do that. But what I find is when it comes to LinkedIn, we allow, I think, this word and this company and this trope of a word, LinkedIn, scare us because we believe that this needs to be very business-like. And we think that due to it being very business-like, and if we don't speak that type of language, that therefore we don't belong in this space or on this app. And that's just false. I'm going to give you guys some quick stats, and then I'll get into this really quickly. I used to be a recruiter at LinkedIn. Now I work in sales and partnerships. When I was a recruiter here, our BIPOC community specifically, about 60% of them didn't have LinkedIn profiles. And the ones that did have LinkedIn profiles had completely blank LinkedIn profiles. Had a picture with them with their phone like this, just taking a picture with some friends. Extremely pixelated background, extremely pixelated picture. And then they'd go, Damon, well, I have a LinkedIn. Why is no one looking at my LinkedIn profile? Why is no one reaching out to me? Why am I not getting the same type of love as anybody else? And so I started to see these things, and I started to see these numbers rise more and more and more. Now, the last thing that I'll say, and then I'll get into this, is when it comes to recruitment, our corporate space, especially the technology space or just in general, are always saying we're looking for these different communities that come from different backgrounds or our first gen population. But what I've come to realize is for this, when it comes to something that we're so unfamiliar with, it's hard for us to attach to this, and it's hard for us to push this way. And so I'm going to speak to you guys about how I teach about LinkedIn profiles and also how I approach a LinkedIn profile. Okay, so we're going to go through 3 specific steps. So I'm going to go through the LinkedIn profile, number 1. Number 2, I'm going to go through job posts. And number 3, I'm going to go on how to reach out to professionals. Okay, again, number 1, I'm going to go through a profile. Number 2, I'm going to go through job searches. Number 3, I'm going to go through how to actually reach out to professionals. First thing here, we're on my LinkedIn page. So the reason why you see this, right? So my header page, this is the background picture right behind my profile picture, is because this picture represents what I'm passionate about. And I've seen this to be in multitude of spaces. I've seen people put a gavel, which is when they're lawyers and you're hitting down the hammer. I've seen them put books. I've seen people that believe in social justice. They'll put a Black Power fist, or they'll put in unity background to their header picture. But this header picture is everything needs to be clean and crisp. So this picture needs to be a clean, non-pixelated picture, which means not wonky background, of something that you're passionate about. For me, I'm passionate about storytelling, and I love to speak. And so that was naturally the picture that I put up there. Secondly, when we get over to this profile picture, when you have a clean profile picture matched with a clean header picture, you're 8 to 10 times more likely to get your profile clicked on. That means people are going to unconsciously view your profile because of how they see your header picture and because of how they see your profile picture. Now, the thing about the profile picture is we love it to be chest up or shoulder, showing shoulders up. Usual smile and dressing up in some sort of fashion. Doesn't need to be dressed up in a suit coat. It can be just in a plain shirt, usually black or light blue background, which you guys can see here. Below that, what we see my name. Now, right underneath my name, you see some of these keywords. The reason why I have these keywords here is because this is also a trope as well. People don't understand what LinkedIn is. LinkedIn is a platform that recruits or finds people through keywords. So it's not just about what Naheen said, right? Naheen brought up a great comment earlier about we want to post. Absolutely. The thing to post and the thing to hashtags is keywords. This is also how we find people, right? When I was a recruiter here, I would put in storyteller, thought leader, diversity champion, and my name would pop up immediately. But if we don't have these particular keywords, we're never going to get found. And so these keywords basically sum up who I am as an individual, but also what I'm aspiring to be, right? So I am a storyteller, I am a thought leader, a life learner, diversity champion. And what I aspire to be is impact speaker, and I have been doing mentoring, coaching, first gen, and I am an aspiring TEDx speaker, right? So understanding these key particular terms are going to be very important to beginning. Like they're basically like intent signals. Basically, you're putting them out into the ether, and people are like, oh, okay. It's just like on Twitter or Instagram when you go on your explore page and you see all of these things. Have you guys ever realized when you're on Instagram and you search up bread pudding or people doing backflips, all of a sudden on your explore page is all these people doing backflips? There's a reason for that, and it's just same as LinkedIn. It's because those apps are able to pull up what you've been searching, and then now they're able to put it in your face. This is reverse though. We're putting stuff on our profile to get into people that are looking for jobs in their face, right? So that's what we get here. When we start to go down a little bit, we go down to this About tab. Now, I've had so many horror stories about this About tab. So many students come to me saying, Damon, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. I don't know how to fill this out. So I make it very simple. I do it in 3 different sections. The first section is who you are right now, right? And this is the one that I wrote in college, right? My name is Damon Wiley. I'm first generation college graduate workforce employee. I graduated from UC Berkeley with this major. These are the things I did in college. Number 2 is about things that I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about uplifting the youth, building pipelines, being a creator, being an entrepreneur, so on and so forth. And your third paragraph is about the skills that you have. So say it one more time. The first paragraph is about who you are currently, what you're doing currently. I'm currently studying. I'm a junior. I'm a sophomore. I'm a senior, so on and so forth. And then some of the accolades that you have. The second thing is about what you're passionate about. And the third paragraph is about all the skills that you've accrued. And I'll show you where to find those skills. Lastly, when we're building our profile, there's a few particular different things that we're going to look at. So it's something I like to call the XYZ method. XYZ essentially saying is, it's in the simplest thing, it's what did you do, how did you do it, and what was the outcome? What did you do? How did you do it? What was the outcome? I built a scooter. I built a scooter by putting in 40 plus hours of labor. I found all of these different tools. I went to 7 different body shops, and I was able to construct this in 2 weeks. The result of it is I built a scooter, and then once all my friends saw the scooter, then I was able to go, then they were able to buy 10 more, and I built it for all of them as well, right? XYZ method. And this is what I do for each work experience that I have. On top of that too, as you guys can see, there's skills that's underneath this. So I just talked to you guys about keywords. The skills are right here. So what happens is we did this and we just implemented this. This is a new feature that we just brought here because of the fact that now you don't need to remember what skills you have for each job experience. Now you can put it under each job experience. So when you go back into this about section, now you're able to fill this up completely, right? Lastly, one thing I was speaking to our wonderful panelist about, and my other colleague that's on the call, is when you guys look at my LinkedIn, everyone looks at LinkedIn as a networking platform. I see it as a blueprint. What does that mean? If you guys want to become Damon or anybody else on this call, we know exactly how to do it. This was my first internship. This was my second internship. This was my third one. This was my 4th role. And then right out of college, I worked at this place for 1.5 years. And then I created my own company, created my second company. Now I work at LinkedIn, and then I'll be going off to get my MBA. So you get to see my exact track and pipeline. And the last thing that I'll speak, or 2 last things that I'll speak about. Number 1, I always get this from students. They always tell me, Damon, I don't want to copy anybody. I really want us to reframe and rethink that. You're never copying anybody, but the platform, right? The way that the content is structured, you can copy, right? So if I'm using the XYZ method in every single one of my experiences, you can use the same method. If you don't want to use the same words, fine. But what we need to recognize is that the people that come from untraditional backgrounds, we're the ones that are trying to be different. The ones that do come from these more privileged backgrounds, they're like, oh, Damon said recognize. I'm going to use recognize because we had completely different experiences, right? But we're still using the same particular words and the same methods and formats. And so I want to urge us that it is okay to be able to share the same type of processes and formatting in order for us to be successful. And this last piece is making sure that you're writing about all of your achievements in each one of your educational experiences. Now, the last thing that I was going to say is when I was speaking to you guys earlier about what I just told you guys about earlier, which is keywords, you can only find these keywords through the job descriptions. All of this, when we first see it, we're scared, right? Immediately. But the thing that we don't recognize is all of this is giving us the answer. This is the cheat sheet, right? And so each one of these blueprints, all these words develops, implements, coordinates. These are words that need to be in my LinkedIn in order for me to be found for this role. When the recruiter is looking, each bullet point matters. We take these experiences, we shift and talk about them, and we put them back into our LinkedIn. And then lastly, this is how we reach out to professionals, right? Hi, someone I just met. Hi, my name is Damon Wiley. I'm currently a sophomore at the University of California, Berkeley, studying business administration, looking to explore technology space. I'd love to see if you're free in the next week or so to walk me through your journey and pathway into your industry. You can change up sophomore at whatever high school, whatever you're planning to study, and then you can tell them that you're looking to explore this. I would take a picture of this if I was you. Also, you guys can message me and DM me, and I'll absolutely have that message for you as well. So sorry for running over, Greg, but I hope that was informative enough for all you students. Thank you guys so much.
All good, Damon, all good. You shared a lot of great info there, some themes about your LinkedIn profile being a blueprint, pay attention to those keywords, and also some advice on how to leverage your profile once you actually build it. And some of the questions are pouring in here. And let's get started with one from Jeremiah. So this one's for you, Damon. You covered this, but maybe you could elaborate a little bit. Jeremiah wants to know, what's the best clothing attire for a LinkedIn profile picture? Should they be business casual, semi-formal, formal? What's your take?
Yeah, I think I honestly, you said Jeremiah wrote that?
Yes.
Yeah, Jeremiah, to be honest with you, brother, I think it really depends on the cleanness of the picture, right? So however clear the picture looks, you could do semi-formal. I've seen a multitude of things. I've seen people in long sleeve black shirts, right? So the usual recommendation is like you want to be in solids, and you want to either have a background that's blue or a background that's white. You can be business formal and professional, but you can also wear those really solid colors in the black, blue, or white range. Lastly, too, you can have candid photos, right? So I've seen a lot of photos of people looking this way, looking that way, speaking, and or laughing. And so that's what I would recommend for you.
Great. Thanks for the question, Jeremiah. Naheen, let's get you in the conversation here. You're a student. You've networked. You've used LinkedIn. Matthew wants to know, what is a good catchphrase for a student who's looking to network or gain more job opportunities?
Matthew, how's it going, man? So that's a great question. I personally would say I refrain from necessarily having like a catchphrase, but I personalize every single conversation to the specific individual who I'm connecting with. So for example, if I know that they're, let's say, in the business of tax, usually I'll hit them up in a similar response to what Damon posted earlier. So I do hope you guys screenshotted that, and I'll just give a very slight introduction. And I'll usually just say that I'm interested in learning in their specific industry, such as, hey, what's going on? My name is Naheen Khan. I'm currently a blank, 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 you know, your school, your grade level, and I'm interested in the blank industry. I want to learn a little bit about your experience. That's usually my go-to. So it's a very similar structure, just personalized for the individual who you're talking to. I think that if you guys took a screenshot of what Damon was saying, that is a perfect gem right there, and it'll work almost all of the time. And guys, if someone does not respond to you, please don't feel discouraged. It's not a personal thing. A lot of people are professionals. Sometimes they're just not getting to it because they're not looking at it. But guess what? The beauty of LinkedIn is there's millions of people out there, and you will get an answer. I hope that helps, Matthew.
Great question, Matthew. Thanks for responding, Naheen. Our next question, I'm going to combine two questions because they're pretty similar, from Isabella and Ashlyn. They'd like to know, what's the recommended age to start a LinkedIn profile? Damon, can you address that?
Yeah, I think it's any age. I think the problem, and I think that's a really great question. It can be any age, and why I say that is because the more information that you have on LinkedIn, the easier it is for people to find you. Now, what happens is I've ran into a lot of students that say, hey, Damon, I have no experience at all. I've done nothing. Well, that's not true. If you've worked at Starbucks, put it on there. I've worked with students that worked at UPS, FedEx, In-N-Out, Target. Just being customer service reps or just swiping groceries, it doesn't matter, right? Because you're getting the practice of it. And that's the problem, is we don't get enough practice. And then we think when we get our first job that then we're supposed to boom and it's supposed to just hit for us and we're going to know exactly what to put. So there is no age limit on it. I would get started as soon as possible.
Awesome. Thanks, Damon. And do you have to be of a certain age to have a LinkedIn profile? And if there is, what advice do you have for students who are maybe too young to start theirs?
Yeah, I think that you have to be in high school, but I believe there's a high school version of LinkedIn, or at least like a high school restrictive version where you can put your information on there. In the meantime, if you're in middle school or you're a freshman in high school and you can't write anything, then I would start recording on a Google Doc of your experiences completely. So then once you are able to put stuff on your LinkedIn, then you're able to put that and insert this information in instantly. I don't know if you have anything else to add there, Naheen.
No, I think you summed it up pretty well.
Awesome. That's great advice, Damon and Naheen. And it looks like you do have to be 16 years old to have your LinkedIn profile. But Damon, that's great advice. If you're not 16 yet, start that Google Doc, start writing down some of your experiences so that you're ready to go once you can build that profile. Our next question is from Liam and Maya have this same question. They're asking about what are the different ways to use a LinkedIn profile? How can we actually leverage it once it's built? Naheen, can you talk about some of the ways that you've leveraged your LinkedIn profile?
Yeah, so a couple of the ways that, oh, and by the way, Liam and Maya, that's an amazing question because it starts to get you to kind of critically think about purpose. And that's one of the things, right? Understanding what your purpose is for going onto LinkedIn. So some of my purposes were joining entrepreneurial communities, connecting with people within the specific industries that I wanted to work in. And I kind of saw it through in the sense of, I'll give you guys a personal experience. I knew starting college that I wanted to go the CPA track. That means certified public accountant. And I knew I wanted to start off with the best of the best. And I knew that that was Deloitte, PwC, companies like this. If you guys don't know those just yet, maybe you'll hear about them when you guys get to college. But I didn't have any experience. But my older sister suggested getting on LinkedIn, reaching out to individuals, asking them, like Damon said earlier, like, hey, what does a day-to-day look like for you? How did you get to where you are today? After connecting with about 10 individuals, they actually saw how responsive I was, how enthusiastic I was. And then they actually led me to connecting with a recruiter a couple months after. And here I am a year later now fulfilling that dream of mine in working with that firm. And furthermore, I'd say just getting out there and really just finding out about people and industries you don't know about. That's one of the bigger things. You connect with all types of individuals, not just the people within the specific industry you think you want to be in. You get to leverage your network and get to know all types of different industries.
Thanks for that, Naheen, and great question, Liam and Maya. Damon, this next one is for you. It's from Fianfo Liwa, and they want to know, how can my student profile on LinkedIn affect my ability to get into college? And then I'll add on to that because Harsahej and Andrea also have a similar question. Why does my LinkedIn profile matter as a high school student? Can it also help me get scholarships?
Yeah, perfect question. So Naheen said something that was key earlier, which is post. And the reason why I start with that is because it's extremely key. So basically, you guys are asking me, why does a LinkedIn profile matter in high school and how is it going to benefit me? Which is a great question. It makes a lot of sense. So why do you need it in high school? As you guys are starting to get into an age where ACTs and SATs is pretty much about to evaporate, how are people able to track how you will be a good fit in their school, right? So if, let's say everyone in the world gets 3.5s to 4.0s. You all come from the same city, same backgrounds, just in different locations. How am I able to tell who's who and who does what? Because you're doing AP, because you're doing IB, how many people are doing that, right? So then what becomes the differentiator? Who's in student government? Who's creating their own organizations? And who's putting these organizations that they're creating on LinkedIn? Once on LinkedIn, you're able to post and say, hey, I've created and started this. Very similar to the way we do on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. The advantages of that is when you put your post on and you post your post, it's able to go out to the whole world of LinkedIn. Once it's on the whole world of LinkedIn and you have the particular hashtags, which to every single post you do, the rule of thumb is about 3 to 4, then every time someone searches up that particular keyword, you pop up in their search engine. And so now if you're looking, saying, I'm graduating XYZ high school, and I started these 4 organizations, I'm looking to get some scholarships because I have to fit, I have to, come up with $50,000 or $100,000. Does anyone have any advice on that? And now you get people from all over the globe asking questions and answering and saying, hey, I know about this scholarship. I know about that one. I know about this. And that's how all this stuff works. And it's also going to give you good practice when you get into college, if that's something you're aspiring to do. So if that answers your guys' question.
Thanks for that, Damon. Our next question is from Kai. Kai wants to know, are there any common mistakes that students tend to make on their LinkedIn profiles? How can I avoid them and present myself in the best light possible? Naheen, can you take that one for us? What do you think?
Yeah, definitely I can. So Kai, I would say in my own personal experience, I would avoid using it like any other social media, such as Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, right? Because this is still a professional setting in a sense. I don't want that to make you guys shy away from using it, but just know what you guys are getting into. I would say, avoid posting regular pictures like Damon was saying, maybe you're at prom and it's kind of like an off-guard photo of you. Try to take like proper candid photos. It just creates better engagement. Try to show yourself in the best light. Be aware of what you're posting, how you're posting it, the formality of your messages, how you're speaking to people, right? Know how to code switch between understanding that this is someone you're reaching out to and not, a family friend or a local friend. I'd say that might be the mistakes that people often make. Other than that, I wouldn't say that there are any mistakes that I could catch, but I would say definitely be aware of your intention and what you're posting, how you're posting.
That's great advice, Naheen, and thanks for the question, Kai. All right, we have some other questions that are pretty concrete to a LinkedIn profile. Quasi wants to know, can we add courses we've taken or credentials that we've earned, for example, from YouTube channels like Free Code Camp, to our LinkedIn profiles? Damon, can you take that one?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can absolutely put that on. When you go to your profile page, it's asking you to add sections. And when you add sections, you can actually add awards, courses, credentials, so on and so forth that you've done on there. I want to say a quick thing to what Naheen, the last question that Kai asked too, just to be two-pronged, ChatGPT in the world of AI exists. So the world of us messing up LinkedIn posts or messing up emails or messages to professionals should not exist anymore. Because now we're able to say what we wanted to say, put it into that and say, hey, can you help me make this sound a little bit better? If you don't have anyone to help you out. So make sure you utilize all your resources.
Great advice there, Damon. And actually, Joshua had a similar question to Quasi's. Can my high school extracurricular activities be incorporated into my LinkedIn profile as well? Or is that considered too unprofessional?
No.
Damon, if you don't mind, would I be able to take a jab at this one?
Come on, brother, please.
So actually, a couple of my friends have insisted deleting their high school experience. But I actually insist on keeping it there, especially if you've been a part of extracurriculars in high school. I still have my high school post up. And if any of you guys in turn make a LinkedIn account and connect with me, you guys can go and see. I have my Friday night football game photos up when I was a student ambassador, from the newspapers, from yearbook, right? Because if you don't have experience like I once didn't have, those were my experiences, right? Leadership skills from football, perseverance and grit, teamwork and collaboration in the newspaper and the yearbook team. Again, leadership and communication skills being shown in my student ambassador times. So those things were the things that would lead my conversations with professionals and allow me to connect with them on a one-on-one basis. And it's like, I think Damon mentioned way earlier that some of the clients that he's worked with in the past, whether they said like, hey, yeah, I worked at a grocery store, I did this, I did that, that's still experience. Don't undermine yourself ever. Even if it was just a project with your parents or something like that, that is still experience and it goes a far way. So definitely keep that high school extracurricular stuff on your LinkedIn. It's going to make you look pristine.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Naheen. And thanks for the question, Joshua. And Naheen, I'm going to pass the next one to you as well. You were talking about we need to post on LinkedIn. Well, Virginia wants to know, what are good things to post about on LinkedIn and how often should you post to show that you're engaged in that specific industry that you're looking at?
Definitely. So I'd say consistency is key. I do post pretty often. And it's always a funny thing whenever people see me, they're hitting me with the, hey, Mr. LinkedIn, because I'm always popping up. But here's the thing. When I meet people for the first time, let's say I've had a recruiter on my LinkedIn and I finally go to a networking event with them, they already know me when I step into that room amongst 40 other individuals because of how much I've posted. What do I post? I post certifications that I've gotten through, whether it be LinkedIn certification, guys. You can get LinkedIn certifications for completely free. Also, certifications that I've paid for. I post photos of me interacting at college clubs, panels that I've spoke on. I do post motivational quotes time to time just for whoever is maybe feeling a little down, scrolling through LinkedIn, they might read that and find some happiness out of those. And I also just post any updates. Like, for example, I recently published a book. It's my first ever book called Can I Succeed? And so what I went on my LinkedIn and I made a post immediately so that I can get some engagements and let individuals know that they can grab a copy, but also for all of the recruiters and people within my network to know that I have that out because it's a conversation starter. So whatever you feel is an accomplishment and you know that it's worth posting, now that we've gone over that, I think you should definitely be consistent with it.
Awesome. Appreciate that, Naheen. And Virginia, thanks for the question there. So motivation, accomplishments and certifications, and then also updates. 3 really concrete ideas of what to post on LinkedIn. Damon, this next one is for you. You talked about keywords when you went over the LinkedIn profile. Joseph wants to know, is there a limit to the amount of keywords you should have on your profile? And is there ever a point where you think you have too many?
Yeah, I think that's a good question, Joseph. The way I would answer that is just thinking about what you're writing and what you're posting. So me right now, I'm not going to put, hi, my name is Damon. I'm an invigorating, ambitious, talkative, explicit personal trainer. Like, I'm not going to list off things, right, about myself. I'm going to have it flow in conversation. So, hi, my name is Damon. I'm really appreciative to be an impact speaker, be speaking to all, 50 plus, 1,000 plus students. I'm here to make impact in these 3 specific ways, right? And so it's not too much, not too little. And also don't think that you need to all pack them into one bullet point. It could be multiple bullet points. It can also be in multiple of your experiences, but also you can give people a taste, right? So you can use 30 to 40% of the keywords that you see. And then when people interview you, that's when you can use the rest of the keywords that you find, right? And so picking and choosing what you're going to use, and that will be around my second point, which is finding an appropriate mentor, career advisor, or having a board of directors. A board of directors is having 5 to 10 people, or 5 people, 4 people, how many ever you want, that have your back, that are willing to advise and mentor you and develop you. Career-wise, learning and development-wise, emotionally-wise, partnership-wise, relational-wise. And that's been my key to success in high school, college, and now in my professional world.
Thanks, Damon, and thanks for the question, Joseph. This next one is going to be for you, Naheen. Elizabeth wants to know, how is a resume different from a LinkedIn profile? This is a good one, Elizabeth. And can you use your profile as a resume? What do you think?
Yeah, Elizabeth, right? Elizabeth, that's an amazing question. Actually, I was hoping that someone would ask that. And the way I'd say it is, I would refrain from necessarily using your LinkedIn as like a replacement for the resume, but I would say that you can use both you can use your LinkedIn to get you to a position to then forward your resume to individuals who would more likely run through your resume, take a more serious look at it. But also LinkedIn, it allows you to really connect deeper with people and find, like Damon actually mentioned, your board of directors, like mentors, sponsors, career coaches. That's where you can, bring your career to life, right? A resume is more so just to see like how, your credibility, if you'd be a good fit. But LinkedIn, it just brings you to life. You have personalized photos, messages, and so much more. And you get to highlight your strengths and bring that resume to life. Because I don't know how many of you guys know this, but typically people, like recruiters, look at your resume for about 7 seconds, right? But if you're being Mr. Consistent, like my friends call me Mr. LinkedIn, if you're being like me and consistent, they can't ignore you even if they wanted to for 7 seconds. So that would be the difference between the resume and LinkedIn. And just to, again, share like a little bit of a personal story with you guys, I'll try to keep it short, but through LinkedIn, I was able to get my Deloitte internship without ever stepping foot in a networking room with Deloitte because I do not come from a target school. So what I did was I networked with a lot of individuals, and guess what? Not all of them got back to me. But I hit up the right person at the right time. He saw my LinkedIn profile, saw I seemed like a standout candidate, and immediately asked me for my resume. And from there, the rest was, history. So guys, that's the difference between LinkedIn and your resume.
Thanks, Naheen. And that's great inspiration for some of our students who will be looking for jobs or internships pretty soon here as well. All right, Damon, this next one is for you. It's from Lena. And it sounds like Lena wants to know the difference between the free version and the premium version of LinkedIn. Is getting premium worth it?
Absolutely, but you shouldn't have to pay for premium. Why I say that? So most colleges, community colleges, state colleges, universities, your career center, they should have free LinkedIn premium accounts for you guys, where you're going to put in a code. They'll have like code vouchers for you guys. You'll put them in and you'll be able to have LinkedIn premium either for 6 months or a year. And so make sure to look up that resource once you go to college or if you're already in college. Naheen, I don't know if you have anything to add on that.
Yeah, Damon, actually, I just wanted to add, I know in today's day and age of e-commerce, we all do shopping on Amazon. And if you guys have Amazon Prime, go ahead and grab yourself that 6 months of free LinkedIn premium, because that's exactly what I did. And let me tell you, those 6 months of premium, I felt like I felt really good because I knew who was viewing my profile, and I was also getting a lot more engagement. I'll definitely say it. So definitely don't pay for it. It is a hefty price if you don't have a full-time job. So try to go out there and get it for free because you definitely can.
Yeah. I agree.
Our next question is from Aiden. Aiden wants to know, do you recommend connecting with college admissions folks on LinkedIn? Damon, can you take that one?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think Naheen spoke about it earlier today. LinkedIn is a strategy game, right? And so if I want to be a CEO, I'm going to follow every CEO that I possibly can. And then I'm going to post as much as I possibly can so then they can see everything that I do and who I am. So then eventually at some point when I do message them and they still see me, they know exactly who I am. When it comes to college admissions, because I get this from a lot of students as well, absolutely. Follow college admissions, message them, let them know that you're looking to connect with them to learn more about the school. Now, what I've learned, right, and this was a big thing I learned, a lot of students make this mistake. They'll ask people to give them answers instead of giving them advice. And a lot of students will ask people ask a lot of professionals to mentor and advise them, and they won't ask for advice. Now, for us as professionals, myself as professionals, Greg, Naheen, all of us, the big thing is if you're a student that's in need or you're a student at all, if you ask me for mentorship or advisory, I don't know you yet, right? I'll still be open to talking with you, but I don't know you yet. But if you're a student that's hungry to learn and asking for advice, I'm more likely to want to give you that advice or some tips that I can help you with. And if you return back with, thank you so much, blah, 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 can we meet? Then I'll be more inclined to be like, yeah, sure. Because we already built that one-to-one connection very, very quickly. And that's just a quick tip that I give my students when they're trying to build some of these quick relationships.
Great advice, Damon. And you mentioned following folks on LinkedIn, and this goes to Nuha's question, which is, what is the difference between connecting with people and following people?
Oh, Nuha, I get this question all the time. And I actually didn't know the answer to this question until about 6 months ago. So I have my own company where I travel nationally to go to colleges all around the nation, right? I went to one specific college. I went to San Diego State, and I had all these students that kept following me. And they were writing me messages, and I'm like, what the hell? I cannot see their messages. What is going on? And then what I realized was the students that connected with me, I was able to see their DMs. The ones that follow me, I wasn't really able to see their DMs and or see their content. So when you follow someone, you're following their page, has no correlation to you. So I cannot see any of your content when you follow me. When we're connected and I connect back, now I can see your content and you can see mine together. And the DMs flow from my account for some reason. The DMs flow quicker when we're connected. So that's the difference. That's the difference between both. So make sure you guys connect seriously.
That's super helpful. I'm learning tons tonight as well. And I'm looking at the clock. I can't believe how much time has just flown by here. So we're going to get to our last question here, which I had a question teed up for you all, but Diego has a question that I think is, Diego has a question that I think is really great. Diego wants to know, how would you describe a LinkedIn profile in one simple word? So Naheen, I'm going to hold you to one word. How would you define it in one word?
I would say revolutionary.
Revolutionary. I love it. And another like lightning round question for you, Damon. This is from Genesis. What is one thing we can do to bring attention to our profile?
Create a video of you speaking and putting it either on a post or putting it as your profile picture.
Love it. Creating a video. I need to do that to my LinkedIn profile once we get off this call. But thank you both for all of these awesome questions and answers tonight. Just super grateful to have you on board for Big Future LinkedIn Career Week. And unfortunately, that is all the time we have for today. I also want to thank our audience here for joining us during Big Future LinkedIn Career Week at our last event. We would love to hear how today's session went. So after this event closes, you'll be automatically directed to our feedback survey. Please complete it. Let us know how the event went for you so we can make future events even better. So Career Week may be over, but remember, there's still the recordings that you can watch from Tuesday's event, from yesterday's event, and from tonight's event at bigfuture.org/live. And lastly, if you're looking to learn a little bit more about college loans, you can join us next week as we welcome the folks from UNC Chapel Hill, Florida International University, and Boston College, who will give you advice on college loans for students and parents. So you can register for free at bigfuture.org/live. Once again, thank you to LinkedIn. Thank you to our guests tonight. And thank you to all the students and caring adults joining. Have a wonderful evening.